Our guest this morning, would you like to introduce him?
Our guest this morning is Dr. Kwame Asasante, the head of European Studies at the University of Ghana. He joins us now via Zoom. Doc, it's a pleasure to have you again on the AM show. Good morning. Doc, I think if you can hear me, then unmute.
Yes, I think I can hear you.
Great.
Can you also hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Welcome aboard.
Yeah. Good
Doc,
morning to you.
Doc, you have your minute or two now to get into the most topical issue that's occupying the most space in your head this morning. And I'm guessing,
Yes.
Okay, it's your take.
Today, I'll look at something different.
Okay.
And I'm looking at, now that MPP has come out with the running mate for Dr. Baumia, what I will urge is that the other parties will follow suit so that we'll get all the compliments for the elections set and then hit the ground running. But having said this, I want to, draw the attention of the parties, which they know, that the next exercise is that we need manifestos. They need to come out with manifestos that deal with our problems, and then we should also have the solutions. We are more interested in the problems and the solutions, and then the way forward. The way forward, I'm looking at what manifestos that give hope, bring smiles on the faces of people. That is what. And when they are able to do that, they will continue with campaigns. And we want campaigns when the campaign starts. It's already started, but we're saying that when they are entering into the campaign full gear, there are do's and don'ts. What are some of the do's? We want to see them campaign on issues that confront us, issues that are on the minds of everybody. And then we need what? Solutions. Just not the issues, but tell us how you are going to address them. Take the conversation to another level and help us to deal with the problems. They should also focus on what their records tell us what you have done. After all, politics is nothing but a contest of ideas. So we want ideas, and then we want what? Your records. Show us the records. Last election, I witnessed something that which I thought was very, very was not good, and it undermined the fortunes of the party. You've done it so much, and then nobody sees that. Bring them out. Let us interrogate them. The don'ts are the things that I'm going to say. We don't want insults. Once you start with insult, we know that you have nothing to share with us. We will not waste our time on that, right? No insult. We don't want propaganda, lies and deception. No, we don't want that. It will be in their own interest to give us nothing but the truth, because we will find out. And your station has been doing so well. Fact-checking. Yes, you will come out to expose the person in no time. So we want nothing but the truth. And then issue of what? Parties playing the ethnic card. It will not work. Because if ethnicity is anything to go by, anytime we go for election, the dominant party, the dominant ethnic group, people should win the election. But that has not been the case, and it will not be the case. People don't know this. It is not part of the literature that if you play the ethnic card, people will vote for you. People will not vote for you. And so is what religion, that you want to play the religious card. It will not work. We have seen people, I don't want to mention names, 1992 up to date, people who were believe in certain religious, they profess certain religious faith and the rest of them. Yeah. They contested people with the hope that they will win. They never won, and they will not win. All right? As individual, if you are an individual, you are prepared yourself, work, build capacity, and you are good to go. But if you want to play any of these, the religious or ethnic card, it will not work. The literature doesn't support that. So let us stay focused and look at the things that influence voters. That is the economy, that is infrastructure development, corruption, health, and the rest of them, in addition to constituency-specific issues. This is the way to go. Any other thing, we will throw it into the lake of fire.
Okay, we will throw it into the lake of fire. Let's start with the Daily Guide newspaper now. I'll do 3 major stories, but I'll run through all the major headlines, all the headlines really. and then we'll get into those stories. On the front page, Bawumia Napo Sheikh Kumasi. Police pursue 7 over NPP Ayawaso West office attack. Nana commends German government on cement price control. Kogmak cries foul. I'll start with this Bawumia Napo shaking Kumasi story because, I mean, that's what's going to make major headlines this morning. A grand debate of chiefs and people of Asanteman was held yesterday at the Nana Efia Kobi Park inside the Mesha Palace to welcome the New Patriotic Party delegation to the Ashanti regional capital, Kumasi, led by President Akufo-Addo. The party presented its flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and running mates, Dr. Matthew Puku-Prempeh, affectionately called Napo, to the Asante Hino Tumfo Setu II for his blessings, advice, and support. And we saw yesterday that well, not many people knew that there was such a close-knit relationship between the Otumfo and Napo. And so many revelations actually came to bear. Some of the things that he himself was, has been saying has come under major attack. But I'll leave that for you, Doc, to get into that. The battle line is finally drawn. I think it's an editorial talking about the tickets of the 2 doctors, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Dr. Opoku-Prempeh, and the Mahama and Professor Jenano Opoku-Agyemang tickets. So it's like all set for elections. Cement price control, Kogma cries foul. In this story I want to get into. The Chamber of Cement Manufacturers Ghana has raised serious concerns over the proposed Ghana Standards Authority pricing of cement regulations 2024. That is that LI that Katie Hammond sought to regulate prices of cement. Now, the chamber is noting that while price transparency is a laudable goal, the proposed regulations raise concerns about who wields the price control power. Kogmak emphasized that these regulations were drafted without extensive consultation with industry players. Quote, while some might suggest a meeting was planned, the facts paint a different picture. Cement companies were summoned via a last-minute WhatsApp message on a Sunday evening for a meeting the following morning with no agenda provided. And those are just excerpts of the actual story to give us some context. Financial irregularities drop in specified entities, that is according to SIGA. Government partners improve horticultural sector's growth. In entertainment, Prince David endorses Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Hajia Forel's baby daddy denies romance. 2 Nigerians caged for killing their colleague, that is on international front. Frema praises Ghanaian teachers. I'll just touch on this story briefly and then I'll come to you. 2 Nigerians, Prosper Chukwu and Destiny Ogwe, have been remanded into police custody for allegedly strangling their fellow Nigerian to death at Taifa Cocoa Powder in Accra during a quarrel. Wow. The suspects, according to court documents, prior to killing Tony Amechi, subjected him to severe beatings, tied his neck, hands, and legs with a TV cable. The document states that the suspects then strangled him with a T-shirt and a pillow. The 2 have been charged with 1 count of conspiracy to commit murder and a substantive charge of murder. And that's happened right here in Accra. Doc, these 3 stories for your reflections.
Yeah, I will start with Bawumia Napo ceremony yesterday, where the outdoor Dr. Opoku-Prempeh. That was a good one. We saw it. And what we take from it in terms of politics is advice that the king gave. And you and I are aware that the king always have a wise counsel for people, except that people throw them away. And then whatever happens, happens. But he gave 2 important ones, that he should conduct his affairs in such a way that Bawumia will not regret for having selected him. That is very, very, very deep. I commend the king for that. More often than not, we select people, we appoint them into various positions, they end up disappointing us, disgracing us. So that he sounded that cautionary note to him. And then 2, it talks about his character that people has come to sharp focus in recent time, that he doesn't know him like that, but he should not allow that to stay. In other words, he should be able to work on that and then become the best, if I may paraphrase that way. That gives you a sense of the fact that the king is aware of the goings on in the political terrain, and anything that affects anybody, the king is aware. So he's alive to this, tag, and you want to advise NAPO, I will also add that it is important for him to take all these things in his stride and then work at them, try and manage himself,
Right.
and make sure that he get the best, because it's those who really want to support you who give you the best of advice.
Right.
Remember, advice is not compulsory, but it is incumbent upon you that you do something about it so as to stay afloat. So that's it. We are looking forward to the pair, what they will do in terms of their campaign and their strategy and all that. And they have promised that in no time the manifesto will come. We'll see and interrogate the issues further.
Okay, Doc.
The issue about cement price control and the reaction from the producers and all that,
right,
it is to be expected, because if you look at the way the whole process started, it was a source of worry to some of us, because we believe that we are in a free market and the forces of demand and supply at work. In other words, there's the, laissez-faire economy. So why a restriction of that sort? But if you look at events later on, things have changed. And now the bill, if you listen to members of parliament, I think it represents something which is fair.
right.
That is to members of parliament. Let's see how it comes out. And going forward, I expect that the ministry will have a dialogue with all the stakeholders before taking any position like that. Okay. Remember, there are industries, companies who are leaving the shores of Ghana. We don't want the remaining ones to also fold up or leave. We want to see this thing, right? All
right, Doc. Thank you for your thoughts. Benjamin.
Well, I'll get into the Republic Press newspaper. And it starts with Akufo-Addo says no to Mahama. And President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has dismissed the presidential bid of John Dramani Mahama, the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, citing his lack of new ideas and a failed track record. Speaking at the unveiling of the new Patriotic Party's running mate, Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, Akufo-Addo drew parallels with former presidents Jerry John Rawlings, John Ajekum Kufuor, and himself, who all served 2 terms. He emphasized that Mahama's defeat in his second-term bid demonstrated his unsuitability for the presidency. The president went on to say, quote, Mahama was rejected for his second term, and now he is asking for a second chance. We won't consider him for the presidency, whether today or tomorrow. He added, we know his track record, and he has nothing new to offer Ghanaians. We saw what he did during his tenure, which led to his defeat. Why should we vote for him now? We won't. The we the president is speaking about, I do not know. But this morning, I'm going to be a bit acerbic with and I'll just share my thoughts briefly on this before you come in. I don't know whether some of the people who spoke yesterday were not under the influence. I'm going to be very respectful, but also because I struggle to understand why anyone thinking straight, and the point is this, would compare the Osajefo with Akufo-Addo. I don't get it. There's political speak, I understand, but there's also tosh, baseless, useless nonsense. Okay? Let's be serious in this country. Yesterday, Napo, what he said was underwhelming at best, uninspiring at worst. What I expected from him, and what was he saying about energy again? I mean, even the president came and was a bit pacific, and we didn't want to end up here, but, some things. And that is why some people say he should resign from the energy ministry and focus on his campaign, because every time, yesterday I was talking to someone late at night, the person had a power situation. Anytime that comes up, guess whom people are going to be thinking about? Napo. So I don't know some of the rhetoric, but this bit about the focus, Akufo-Addo is better than Bawumia. Look, I think that is political speak that we can throw into the dustbin of loose talk. It's a comment we can throw in the dustbin of loose talk, because I don't know which sentient person. It's like saying, oh, Mandela and Thabo Mbeki or Cyril Ramaphosa or someone else. What's the MK party leader again? I mean, it is. So even in this Fourth Republic, I'm just going to wrap up here. And later, Doc, I know we'll have time to talk about this. So then I'll share my thoughts. But let's be serious in this country. You want to campaign? Yes. I wouldn't go and say because I'm supposed to rally the base, I'll say things that only MPP faithful will find to resonate with them. I would want to speak to the generality of the people. After all, it's not MPP people alone who would vote for you. You might convince other people. But me, and I'll say it anyway. Even in this Fourth Republic, and I'm not going to say in any particular order, it's not in any order, but even in this Fourth Republic, if I were to rank presidents based on what I have seen, and I've been here, I wouldn't rank Akufo-Addo over Akufo. I wouldn't rank Akufo-Addo over Atta Mills. I wouldn't rank Akufo-Addo over John Dramani Mahama. I may struggle between him and Rawlings, and even there, it's going to be dicey. So I don't know what political script Napo was reading from, but well, I guess nowadays, across the world, you can speak a lot of tosh and get away with it. But your thoughts on this bit about Akufo-Addo saying no to Mahama? And on Friday, yes. I think I'll have more time. I think people are saying things to trend. We will not allow people to trend on nonsense. But on Friday, I'll have more time for this. But your take?
I think you have hit the nail right on the head. Because yesterday, I was a bit busy doing a few things. So I did not listen in full, but the snipers have got from it. You want to compare Nana Akufo-Addo with Nkrumah. It's no. It's no. The records are there, except if you want to hide them, and then you will see all that you have. But Nkrumah's records, Nkrumah, I would say, I've said it here and I'll repeat, he lived way beyond his contemporaries. And the work that Nkrumah has done, it will take people years to undo them, that aside. But it is also important. That is what I said, that for this campaign, we don't want anything that is not factual, because you'll be exposed. People will come and expose you. So I think Napo will take it and then learn from this, because what he said yesterday about that comparison, no. Look at how the government is struggling. The achievements, yes, you can find some, but there are problems. Promises they gave us. Have they forgotten the 170 questions that they slap on the face of Ms. Atta and the government? The questions could not be answered. So we are throwing back to the examiner. That teacher, your student couldn't answer. See whether you can walk us through. We are now looking forward to that, those questions, one by one. So he must proceed with carefully, and then walk that tight rope of political righteousness. If you really want to achieve something, he needs to be very, very, very careful about these things, because we are alive to the facts. We are on the ground, and we know what we can speak when it comes to these issues. So as for the president, he will say things to please his party folks, but the stark reality is there. The economy, which is the first determinant of voter choice, is there. Is it healthy or is it not? You don't need any Adam Smith here. All that you need to just go to the market and see the situation on the ground. And that is the challenge for him. The infrastructure that we need. Do we have? The fight against corruption. They said so many things. Mahama's government was too corrupt and all that. Transparency International figures are there. And it has exposed all the lies and deception in the political space. It's clear. Issue of unemployment is going very high. Last time I was checking figures in Chad, and you see that, hey, there's a problem. Chad figures, the time I checked, fine figures than what we have here. What is happening? So I think they need to be very careful when they are throwing these things out, because as I've said, we'll interrogate them and then share with the public the truth, because the public has the right to know.
Well, I see on the live feed some people are upset with what I have said, but it is, I don't hide my thoughts, honest thoughts. I say them. Everyone knows that. So someone says I'm bleeding. Another person is also bleeding there on the back of my commentary. You can feel free to disagree with me, but my opinion is my opinion. And I honestly don't see how any sentient person would think otherwise. But you can go on, be blinded by whatever, it's fine. We have 1 million ways to win 2024 election, Woon to me boasts. Then minority snubs Herbert Crapper's vetting. EC to conduct mop-up voter registration exercise from August 1 to 3. And 34 prison inmates. This one put a smile on my face. 34 prison inmates write BECE with hope for a brighter future, of course, definitely. And then Alliance for Revolutionary Change will tackle CD depreciation head on. That's according to Abu Sakara. Well, I don't know whether you have any quick thought on the Abu Sakara one. Alliance for ARC, of course, Alan Tremanting will tackle CD depreciation head on. If you do, briefly, and then we'll get into our next stack of papers. We have 5 minutes.
Yeah, I don't have the story about Abu Sakara. If you can just...
Oh, he's basically saying the ARC will tackle the CD's depreciation. That's what he's saying.
Okay, Sakara has nice ideas, and so is Alan. But they should team up well and see what they can offer. But I have also said that the best they can do is to push the second to a second round. Winning it, they cannot. That the facts on the ground do not support that.
All right, let's get into other
Well, I'll
papers.
just do the banner stories for these 3 papers. The Custodian paper says private investor to take over Saglemi housing project. That is Kwame Nkrumah saying that they've received 5 bids from private investors and it kickstarts activities to make sure that this project is habitable. NAPO is results oriented. Bawumia declares Otuofo Akufo-Addo bears testimony. Hotel share sale to improve profitability according to Smith. And those are just some banner stories here. On the Daily Searchlight, Mahama's hopeless pledges glitz garners. Anyway, on when she special needs student uses mouth to write BECE, Imams demand Islamic Succession Act. Dr. Duchum praises WAEC for efforts towards curtailing exam malpractice. And this is the Daily Searchlight. Those are just some stories here. On the back page, that is on sport. An excuse to boo Djokovic egged by Wimbledon's crowned. Djokovic expresses anger towards Rooney supporters.
That was an interesting one, actually. I think McEnroe, I watch a bit of tennis. Okay. I think McEnroe, was it McEnroe or someone else said that, I mean, he had been booed about 100 times since what, around 2012, and that people were. But Djokovic is such a character that sometimes people just rail against him. They want him to lose. There was a time many years ago where he wore a Darth Vader cap, mask, if you like, and went on the pitch. So he himself now, and the fact that his longevity and the fact that he's won the laurels, people really like Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer. So for some, it's kind of like the Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi kind and Neymar kind of thing. So it is what it is.
Yeah, on the Accra Times, Mahama debunks the Akufo-Addo NPP free SHS lies, insists I can't cancel what I introduced. North Dai MP 8 BC candidates, Professor S. Kwesari punches CJ Tokono in his latest article titled Imperial CJ Strikes Again. MPs impressed with Buankra project tax the contractor to do a good job. Those are just some banner stories in the papers now. Benjamin, we just have about 3 minutes to go. What other
Yes, I mean, some of them we've already dealt with, but the Ghanaian publisher Bawumia Napo, Ghana's future, that's according to Nana Akufo-Addo. There is Asante Hene to Napo, don't make Bawumia regret choosing you. SNIT wants to improve its investment returns. Osafo Mafo, the Director General, says so. I've seen a lot of, and they've also said that Freddie Blaze Sons thing was not even opened. It wasn't. 5 companies bid for Saglemi project, another blot on our conscience. You know, last week I put it to former President Mahama that TOR was a blot on our national conscience. And this is another blot on our national conscience, the Saglemi project.
This is what, you know, actually completes the project and makes it habitable, I'm all for it.
Yeah, after leaving it to decay, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the way I don't know whose money we think we are wasting when we do these things. but it is our collective money, just as the debt that we have is our collective debt. I don't get it. It doesn't matter who starts it all.
Yeah.
What is the benefit in the end to the people? But anyway, the Daily Dispatch, apart from the good rapport between us, NAPO can help me get over 80% votes in the Ashanti region. You know the dynamics. Anytime the MPP slips beneath maybe 75, 73%, there's chaos. AG and GBA support CJ's request for 5 more Supreme Court judges. And let's prioritize digital systems to deliver road infrastructure. That's according to the Chief of Staff. That's it for me. Do you have anything else before we take reactions?
No, that's it. But let's go to Doc and see what his thoughts are.
I think I'll look at Seglemi projects, and you guys have nailed it. Why do we allow it to rot? You know, read the Constitution. It says that all government are mandated to continue any project left behind by previous government. This, you know, public projects, and it's driven by public cash. So are we ensuring value for money? No. If there's a project like that, it doesn't matter who started it. Continue, and then we get the best out. We don't ensure value for money. And we always start one project, throw it away, go and look for resources somewhere, and begin to start a new one. What's the point? Finish one at a time. So I believe that, yes, I support the project if they want to come back to it. And it should not be only Seglemi. It should be all the rest. Akufo-Addo's project and all that, which are all in the bush. Bring them to life. That is why we voted for you. And then the issue of BEC exam. I never heard any story about the malpractice that's going on, which is being tackled and all that. It's very, very unfortunate that we are seeing some of the malpractices going on and all that. I like the position of WAEC. They put their foot down and they are making sure that they get the best. We wish them the best, and we expect that parents should shy away from these things and allow children to develop to become the best of themselves without any influence in a negative form that will endanger them in the future.
Right.
Well, thank you so much, Doc, for joining the conversation. We appreciate you so much. Every Wednesday, you make the time because of us. You have to prepare and come on air. We're grateful. Today, we salute you for your time. And I know later you'll be joining us again. So we wish you all the best.
Have a good day.
Yeah.
Wish you same. That is Dr. Kwame Asante, political scientist and head of the Center for European Studies at the University of Ghana. Let's celebrate someone before we go. Guess what? Data analyst. I call him our in-house government statistician, Isaac Kofi-Addo. Yes, today is his birthday, and we want to celebrate a very affable brother. You know, I tease him sometimes that looking at his frame, I'm looking forward to seeing him in 5 to 10 years and see how big he will get. But fantastic gentleman, Isaac Kofi-Addo. Happy birthday to you. God bless you.
Happy birthday, brother. I think that he and Winston are doing a great job with Beyond the Numbers. The show is such a flex. I watch and I feel like those my colleagues from high school who know math and they love math and they always want to show off math.
They are showing up for
the rest of us who just want to read and we are leaning towards the liberal arts. We're like, what are they doing? But it's so good that you're doing that. Congratulations and happy birthday, Isaac.
Before we